Good morning, everybody. Let me get this link out there, and then we can kind of talk about what's going on out there. But I think the key word here is just going to be ouch. The CPI coming in and what's going on here, you're just seeing a sell-off on this news. And I don't think that there's any reason for that to change. Looks like coin was just simply waiting for the number to start reversing back down. Looks like that's going to start happening here. So we're going to have to just kind of see how this all plays out off the open and kind of go from there. So, but overall, this is not really what we were looking for. And that's all they were looking for coin, for it to implode down. But this was not the number that we were looking for at all. Hold on one second here. Let me get to some of it so we can kind of go through it. So if you go through this number here, let's do it right now. Give me a second to drop this link in. Good morning, Night Raider. Give me 1 second and I will flip this screen and show you the numbers. Let me just drop this link in a couple different places. And go video and go live now. And let me just throw this on the Twitterverse, and then we'll go from there. And then we can kind of go from there. And we can kind of talk about what this is going to do, but let me just put this out. Okay, so that's out. All right, good. Good morning. So let the games begin is an understatement. Yeah. So you have a huge short position right here, and you have a ton of puts at that 300 level. Watch that 300 level today. Let's get into this number so we can kind of see what's going on. I'm going to flip the screen so everyone can kind of see this, and then we'll go from there. Give me 1 second here, and let me figure it out. I can do this like super quick. So bear with me. I just want to show you this so that we can kind of go forward. So anyone can pull this up. Okay, so this is BLS.gov news release. And over here, you're going to see the month-over-month numbers, okay? So you can see all items, 0.3. Okay, so all items coming in at what? 0.3. So let me just make sure that you can see this as we go over it. Yep, you can. So that's important, but what you want to do is you kind of want to go through the numbers and you want to look for discrepancies. So you come to energy, and last month we saw 11, okay, for all energy combined, and now we're at negative 2.7. We were at 18 on energy commodities year over or month over month from February, right, from February 2022 to March. This quarter, now we're at negative 5.4 month over month. So you're seeing that with fuel is still up, right, from this quarter to that quarter, but energy has come down on the commodity side. You're seeing gasoline across the board of all types come down. So these are negative numbers, and so that could, keyword, could impact the market here, and the question is how? Well, let's just get to some other numbers while I have this up, so we can kind of see what's going on here. Used cars and trucks, which has been a big one. Okay, they've declined again. Notice what's going on here. Very few declines, right? But you're seeing a decline in that sector. You're seeing a decline in apparel as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. So it's not what you want to see. New vehicles are going up in price. Used vehicles are coming down in price, right? Something to think about. And really interesting, airline prices are up through the roof, which means people are traveling, or they wouldn't be raising those. So that's just a rough estimate to kind of give you an understanding of what's going on. We can drill into those numbers a little bit more. But when you see numbers like that, you need to pay attention. Now let's look at what that did to the market. Right. So everyone's getting a little bit of a econ lesson this morning. So let's look at what happened when that happened. Well, that's what happened. Okay. So when that happened, this is what happened. So there's not much more to say about it. Now we just kind of have to wait and see how we do and what transpires with it. I don't see a sense in doing a whole heck of a lot here. You're sitting at that level, just let it go. Just let it sit there and see how bad this actually gets. It could get worse. I'm actually surprised that we're seeing the XLE and seeing these names actually hang in there. We did see these kinds of names, the MicroStrategies of the world, just absolutely implode on that. So I'm kind of curious how that plays out. UPST showing signs of decline. That just rolled right away. That's not really what you want to see. Let's take a look at the 10-year. So the 10-year actually rallied on it, right? So we're actually rallying. If you look over here, we're actually, if the yield drops, that means we're rallying. So we're rallying there. So that's good as well. So overall, we're seeing some signs that things look okay. And we'll see how that plays out. But, you know, the reversal that you're seeing in the names that got beaten up last night was pretty substantial. Look at this. So this name got pretty beaten up last night, and then you just saw straight selling right after the report. So we're gonna have to see how this plays itself out, but that's really what we're seeing right now. So not a whole heck of a lot to do about it. Just, you know, stay out of the way and let's see what happens. But there's not really a lot to do there. You know, this hood is interesting. Someone might just buy this just for cash. I was looking at this. You know, you've got about $10.50 in cash. It's kind of trading under its cash value, which is usually you get a corporate raider or something to come in and just liquidate the entire company. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see something like that, happen. But anyway, so with what we're just going to focus on. There you go. You broke. So we broke. So stay out. I mean, just stay out of the way. You needed to hold 300. You're not. You picked a direction. There's your direction. Maybe you get your flush today, but the fact that you broke 297, just stay out of the way. Very little to do here. Very little to do. Looks like this is just going to completely melt down and break down. So I'll have to see how that goes this morning. And let's take some questions. I have a lot that I could go over. I mean, I could sit here for the next hour and go over this. But when you start going through this and you start seeing these breaks, this you didn't want to see. So we might actually get that flush that we wanted. You might actually get that flush today. Let's take a look at the VIX. Because I really want to flush. And, I mean, maybe they'll panic. Maybe someone will panic and start selling. It doesn't look like it. I mean, the fact that the VIX is down still is just incredible to me. So let's see what happens with it. But that's just absolutely incredible that that's where we're at. So we'll see. We will see, but that's kind of shocking. Okay. So, yep, let the games begin. Good morning, John. Morning, boss. What don't you understand about the number? Morning, Morel. So CPI, and let's just do the rest of the indexes again so that you get it. IWM should actually hold and probably go up if the 10-year rallies. The IWM is more tied to the 10-year than any other index. See how this is down 1%. This is down 60 basis points. This is only down 37 basis points. It's probably actually could actually trade up. It never broke support, and that's because it's tied to the 10-year. But that's what you want to focus on. That's the one you want to focus on. This right here, holding this, we're not holding anything. To me, it looks like you're going to just here, let's click off this pre and post for a moment and just realize that you just need to watch this level. 394.82. Right now you're at 396. I mean, we're holding on by fingernails here. I mean, there's no other way to say it. We're just holding on by fingernails. As soon as this came in, I mean, that was the end of some of these names. Look at this. Look at this MicroStrategy. That was it. Just imploded as soon as that number came out, which means that, you know, I think Bitcoin probably has a really bad day, straight down. So, you know, look, you go into recessionary times, and that's what's going to start happening here. People are not going to understand, well, I thought CPI, I thought that was good. It's showing recessionary times possibly. If you start seeing that, people are not going to want to own Bitcoin. You don't want to own Bitcoin in a recession, because the dollar is going to rally, right? So why wouldn't you just own dollars, right? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. You're just going to own dollars, right? No one cares about the revolution. They care about making money, right? Which is what we should all be focused on. So something to think about. But the fact that you broke 300 and you can't close over 300, you know, that there's a tremendous amount of calls and puts at 300. And the fact that you can't hold that right now, it's still early, but let's see what that does. That's not what you want to see. So, well, that's good. I'm glad Germany's was good. Ours was disastrous. Could you share in the community the link to see every... Yep, I can do that now, Miguel. Hold on. I'll drop it in the trading room. Arete. I put it in the charts room. So it's in there now. Just click on the charts room. All right. CVNA. Yeah, I mean, so you got what you wanted there, right? You got negative news, okay? You got your negative news, and you've got a decrease in you're laying off 12% of your workforce, and you have you've got a real problem there. So I think it's going to just keep going. I mean, I think it'll just keep going down. So, you know, let's see how it plays out. But it's definitely not what you want to see. That's for sure. Definitely not what you want to see. So, not much to say or to do there. But, yeah, that can get a lot worse. A lot worse. So, something to think about there. But I think that can get a lot worse. This could go in the 20s today. This could get really ugly. Like, really ugly. If you can't hold on any of these levels, like if you can't bounce here on this, you know, you could just see capitulation and straight down. So, I'll use rallies to sell, but I don't even know that you're going to get any rallies today. I mean, look at this. This is falling off a cliff. Right after that CPI number, right? So you're just straight down on these names right after it. So you're seeing no bounce, no nothing. Nothing so far. So something to think about, right? Like, you know, don't rush into anything. And I don't know that you want to short when they're down. You might want to just wait till they rally and take a look at them. But the one sector that I think you really have to watch is that energy could come in on this. You could see energy come in, which would drive the SPY down. And that could be your concern. That should be your concern of all the sectors that are out there that look good. If LABU keeps coming in like this, I may actually look at this today. Because this is a really very simple trade. Right? Very, very simple trade. If that can't hold that level, if you can't hold that 527, just get out of the way. But you should be able to hold that. So, something to think about. But overall, you just look, I mean, you can't hold anything. It's just crazy. You're just very, very weak. So, all right, let's keep going. AK. I like SARK. Yeah, I do. I still like SARK. And, you know, you kind of have to watch it here, but this is the level I'm watching. We put it in the newsletter at 64.50. If you don't get the newsletter, there's a link in the description. Please make sure you like the video to get it helps support the channel and gets me in with the algorithm. You see this right here? Just watch that level. But yeah, I like this a lot. And you know, you could see some level of capitulation today. I think I think she owns Coin as well, so that's not going to be a good day for her. You know, another one that's down 20%. But they keep feeding it. They keep throwing money into it, so it's kind of crazy. But they keep throwing money into it. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. But definitely a barn burner, to say the least. Yeah, this is going to break. This is going to break 30 today. But yeah, I mean, she owns a lot of this, so this is probably going to be another day of this breaking. 38.82, you break that, you're going to. I still think you're going to see 34 on it. I mean, I think you're going back to these levels, these pre-pandemic levels, or these pandemic levels, I should say. So let's just keep going. Above, not about. Yeah, I know what you meant. I followed you, Gay. Let's go. Can you go over the VIX? Yep. So here's what's bothering me about the VIX. If we go through this, finally I'm getting some love on it. I finally spiked. It kind of woke up here like, hey, maybe we have a problem. Right? There goes coin dropping even lower. I think we're at new lows. I have a short position in this, so I'm going to keep watching it. We shorted it yesterday, and then we bought puts. So, well, some people did in the trading room. But yeah, I mean, this could, it's funny. I was listening to, there's actually a really good talk on this to listen. If you want to listen to something, Josh Brown, they run that, the Compound. If you go over to their video from last night, from the timestamp of 50 minutes over, they walk through the problems with that report. So if you can't understand why it's down so much, I'm finding a lot of people, I'm finding it on Twitter too, don't understand really how to read these fundamental reports. And when you start learning how to read them, it tells you everything you need to know. It really does. So you can start understanding it, start understanding how to act on them a little bit better. And that's really what you need to do. So something to think about. But yeah, these are just falling off a cliff. So I actually hedged some of this morning, and obviously now regretting it. But you never know. You just don't know how CPI is going to go, and here we are. Just crazy how it's acting, but here you are. Anyway, I think you kind of have to take a look at how the whole market's going to play out. But I would focus on the VIX. I want to see 40. I don't know that I'm going to see it. I really don't. It just seems like every sell down is they're just walking us down. Now, again, you're going to have to watch and see if you can get this Q over 300. That's what you need. You need it over 300. You're having a hard time with it. Instead, you're just getting an implosion, of names. Like, look at this, down again. So, not what you want to see. Not what you want to see at all. Let's just keep on going with questions. I hope that helps, Cameron. I can go over it more. What's going on, Bad Fox? Look at that poor dog. What was the percentage of CPI? 0.3. So you came in at 0.3, but you saw the breakdown, right? If you haven't seen the breakdown here, I'll go to it again. Hopefully you saw that breakdown, but it's important to look at this so you understand what the issues are. Because people are going to look at this and go, I don't understand why here's 0.3, right? Now, 0.3, you should have, right, in my opinion, you should have rallied something. There should have been some kind of relief. And there just wasn't any kind of relief whatsoever. The exact opposite happened. So you kind of have to be aware of that. Now, for me, I would be looking at the energy number. The energy number would bother me more than anything. That would bother me more than anything, that 0.3. But what you have to look at too is what are they really looking at? Okay, so they're not really looking at this 0.3, right? So what they're going to look at, and I look at the 0.3 because it has food, it has everything in it. What they're really focusing on, just so people get this, okay? All items less food and energy. So this is the number that they look at, 0.6. So the estimate that you were looking for, okay, the real estimate that they're looking for is going to be that level, and that could be your issue where, you're looking for an estimate of 0.4, you come in at 0.6. I want to know what everything is. I don't want to just know what they want me to take out. But that number is driving us down, so it's not where you want to be. But if you add everything back in, because you want everything. I don't know why you ever want to take out food and energy. It doesn't make any sense to me. You want to know what the cost of everything is. But they take out food and energy, and that's what they're doing here, and you're getting 0.6. So I would rather look at the exact number, and then I could see that everything is coming in, right? And that's what you're seeing. Everything is coming in. That's what I want to see. But this is the number, and then they're just going to read that number and say, okay, that's a problem. And that's what's happening right now. So, and you're seeing this just accentuate down. Coin now is $55. MicroStrategy broke 20. So here we go. And now the bond market's selling off. That reversed. Wow. So that's reversing. So they're saying they're going to raise rates again based upon the number. I mean, that's what you're saying. All right, let me get back to that screen so we can go through some charts and review. But again, just stay on the sidelines with this. Very little to do. Very, very little to do here if you're not short. And I'll start taking questions, more questions. So I hope that explains it, Bad Fox. If not, let me know. I'll go through it again. Sophie. Yeah, you know, I'm not a fan, but I was going through positions last night because I'm kind of a nerd. So last night I was going through cash positions of companies and book value. The book value is there. The cash is not. You're trading right around book value here. So the issue becomes, you know, is that something that can last? And I don't think that it can, but you have to look at tangible book. This might just start basing here, but I don't know. I really don't have an answer for you. At some point, somebody's going to buy the company. Whether they buy it at $250 and sell it for $4, right? But that's what's going to happen to this. Someone's just going to buy them. Some bank is just going to buy this company. So, coin, now you're down 23%. If you're short this, you know, at some point you have to start looking at saying you have to start covering and trimming some of this. So, you know, I mean, you see when you start getting these readings, you know, of 15, you want to start looking at possibly covering some of that if you're short. We shorted at 70 up here. Was it? Where were we? Just let me get back to that. Yeah, that was up here. 79, 78, somewhere in there. We started shorting it. Hold on, I'll tell you in a moment where we were. Yep, up here on that last pop. So, you know, you got to start covering some of it. Sometimes you got to rent these things. Eventually, you could have a massive bounce up. But this is what you're seeing. I mean, Bitcoin's going to implode. Coinbase is imploding. So you could see a really nasty day today, especially with biotech and tech. You could definitely see that coming. You could just see the whole sector coming in. Like I really like looking at biotech here from a longer term standpoint. But, you know, I would be really cautious here. Maybe we get our capitulation today. Maybe it finally comes. But that's pretty much it. I mean, just got to be really, really careful today. You know, really careful. Not much more to say about it. Let's go. Keep going. Could be setting us up, bro. It could be. Could be today. This market's a bit short, so chance of bouncing up after a flush. I think you're very close to bouncing up in capitulation, but maybe I'm going to see it today. You know, but you have to understand something. Capitulation for me is like a 10% down day, and then finishing on a hammer, right? Like that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for give me down 5% from here in one day, a VIX of 40, and then finishing up on the day and forming a hammer. That's what I want to see. I don't know if I'm going to see what I want to see, right? What I'm seeing is I'm seeing an implosion of a sector that probably never really should have even have been public yet. You know, you're watching the coins of the world blow up, Hood blow up, you completely roll over. So, you know, should you be shorting pre-market? I mean, that's entirely up to you. That's a big number, you know, that came out. People are acting to it. But, you know, again, I already started covering some of this. Looks like I'm a little premature and looks like it could get a lot worse, but it is what it is. I don't need to make every dollar. Good morning. But could you bounce up? Eventually. It doesn't look like it's happening, though. I think the oil sector could come in now. That's a little concerning, that decrease. You could see people sell the energy names today for sure. They could definitely sell the energy names. And that could be a concern. You know, that CPI number that, you know, I didn't expect a decrease like that. Not like that. And I'm not going to be the only one that didn't expect that. So there goes UPST. That's rolling. So that's going to say higher rates. Higher rates are going to lead to what? Right? Higher rates mean less loans. T-Doc looks like it's breaking. So everything that you wanted to break is going to break or is breaking here. So just something to think about. I would do very little off the open. You know, if I was someone that was a trader, who I am, I will be covering shorts off the open, at least trimming them, and then going from there. And I already started this morning, quite frankly. I'm not getting out of the way, but like names like this, yeah, they could just absolutely, I mean, like Bitcoin, this could just implode. You could be down massively today, massively. Once you broke, this is a level I showed the other day. So you have to understand something. This whole inflation trade, the reason that you're up is the inflation trade, right? So that inflation trade started back here in like June. And for some reason, it won't give me any more data. Tell me that's all it's going to give me. But it started back here, right? Like around 10,000. So if you take a look at the anchored VWAP around there, there we go. It'll give it to me now. For some reason, let me clear this off. But once you broke here, forget this one. I can clear that one off. Let me get rid of that one, remove that. Once we broke here, and that's the anchored VWAP from when they started the inflation trade, and that's what happened. Once you finally close below that, here, look at this on the weekly on Bitcoin. So you kind of get what happened. So when people are saying they don't understand, hold on, let me do it this way. And I'm talking more macro. I mean, throw out names if you have them, but I'm trying to get people to understand macroly what's going on. So this is the inflation trade. This was the first week we closed below when they started putting the inflation trade on, right? Bonk, we never really closed, bonk, bonk, bonk. We never closed below it. And then we did. And now you're here. So something to think about. Right? Something to think about. I mean, that's not good, right? You break that 28, you can see where you're going, right? I mean, you're going to just go, you'll go to like even numbers, right? You'll start going to even numbers, but MicroStrategies, I mean, that's going to get hammered. Like that's just going to go straight down. You know, I don't know that I'm shorting it right now, but you know, one tick off the open, you might want to short that. That could go down 20% today, like nothing. You know, there's no way that this doesn't go to 140 now. These are pretty nasty positions when they roll. Like when you see positions like this and they break, and this is going to take out that 208 level. There's just no reason that they're not going to go lower. So keep that in mind. Coin keeps dropping, but something to think about. And this we just can't hold. You can't hold anything. All right, let me take some questions for the next 15, 20 minutes. Oil sector, thoughts on CL, oil sector, and CPI. Yep, so I went through that. SARC, SQQQ. So you can't really buy them now. You know, I mean, we had these trades out there. If you did them, great. If you didn't do them, that's great too. But you can't do these trades now. You just can't. You got to watch them. You can't do this now. I like it. I'd like it to flip this level. I don't know if I'm going to get what I want, right? I'd like it to flip up here. I don't know that you can buy this up 5-10%, Utu. I mean, you know, that's the trade. I don't know that you buy these now. Can this go? Yeah, I mean, look, SQQ can go. The fact that I can't get over this level, look at this MicroStrategies. I'm not even going to be able to get any of this off. Look at this thing, just complete meltdown. I was hoping for some kind of bounce, but is that all I'm going to get? I'm getting nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, I got to make some decisions here. So anyway, I'm talking to myself. I apologize. Let me just get back to this. So I think if you look at this kind of thing, yeah, I mean, that's telling you this can get a lot worse, man. A lot worse. 66, 65, 66.50. I mean, yeah, you have a problem here. Houston, we have a problem. So definitely something to concern yourself with, because it can get super ugly. So bear with me 1 second. 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 1 just don't think that that's going to hold. So, I thought we'd see some kind of bounce. We're not seeing anything. Nothing. So, they're underwater. MicroStrategies is now underwater in that position, in their Bitcoin position. That's what I'm focused on. I'm focused on this name right now. If you're trying to figure out what I'm doing, I'm wondering how ugly this gets now that every dollar down. See, every dollar down now they start losing money, right? Every dollar down is the loss now. This goes to 20, they lose billions. There are covenants where they could have to start selling stock and everything else. It could get super ugly. That's what I'm focused on here. All right, so we're gonna bear with me one second. I apologize. I have a lot going on this morning. Please like the video. It does help me. Good. All right. And it does support the channel, which everybody wants to support the channel, right? Okay. So let me just go going through this. You got to be careful, Uchu. We'll find spots today to get in and out of those. We're breaking, though. There's no way to say it. Are you still holding it? I dumped all crypto last week. I'm 100% out of crypto. And based upon my positioning right now, I'm actually net shorted. I dumped all of it, even the long-term holdings. I actually have stable coins. I moved some bond money over into stable coins, and I'm seriously considering just blowing out the stable coins. I'm getting concerned. And I have a decent, I'm just in the Gemini stable coin, but I'm getting really concerned here that, money markets have broken $1 before. So I'm getting concerned that I might see something like that with stable coins. And I don't want to be a party to that. That's not something I want to be a party to. Hey, Sean. Yeah, I did go through the energy. I'm more than happy to do it again for you, brother. So here you are with, energy. You just got to watch this, man. Really careful today. See these levels right here? We could be forming a bear flag. These negative numbers that came out, this is not what we want to see. For if you're in the oil space, maybe this was the weakness. Again, I'm going to follow my process here, but you could see weakness in these names. That definitely could happen. So something to think about here, for sure, without a doubt. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's not what I want to say for sure. And can you comment on TQQ? Hey, Paige. Yeah, I'd short it. I'd short the living heck out of it. Any rally, I'd short it. Look, you can't look at this chart. Let's just be blunt, okay? Let me get rid of all this and all the text, okay? Let's get rid of this for a moment, and let's just talk. Let's just be candid. You cannot look at that chart and think you're going up, okay? You're trying to catch a falling dagger, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be trying. I'm saying understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to catch a falling dagger. What happens when you try to catch a knife and it falls? You get cuts over and over and over again. You pull your hands away, but you still get cut, right? That's why they call it catching a falling knife. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can't possibly look at that chart right now and realize that you just took out this low, okay? And that you're going to bounce today. Now, if you form some kind of hammer today, that's what you need to see. You need to form hammer. You need hammer time, right? Everybody remember that song, or am I dating myself? But you need hammer time, and you need to, open down and then trade up and form these huge hammers. And we're just not doing that. We're setting up to really roll here. And this is setting up to get a lot worse. So this can get a lot worse. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right? A lot worse. I mean, this is setting up to get bad. And so it's really hard for me to tell you to catch that. I would rather see if we can get down to 280 and have some massive bounce. Look, you have to, bonds, they're selling bonds. They're selling the bonds after reading that number, okay? The VIX, 34. We're not even moving. Where's your panic? Now, I did explain this earlier, and I'm more than happy to walk through it with everybody else as well and explain it in the trading room in a little greater detail. See this March 18th VIX? That was the high, right? Now go and just take a look at this. So here's the SPY on March 18th, okay? And then a couple days later, we're even lower, right? March 23rd, okay? And then here's the VIX again, right? And I know this is more of a macro call today, but I think it's pertinent. Okay, so here you are, the 18th, 23rd. So this really rolled beforehand, and then it came in. So I didn't have the panic the same exact day as the bottom. Well, maybe that's what happens here, maybe not. So something to seriously consider, right? And that's what I think you need to consider. That's what I think you should be considering. You know, how are you going to do that, and how is that going to play itself out? That's my thought on it. You know, how are you going to do that? So let's see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'd like a number over 40. I really would. I'd like a number over 40, and I don't know that we're going to see it today. And it's kind of frustrating. So that's where I'm at with it, Paige. Thoughts on Oxy? I like Oxy a lot. I think you need to be really careful with the CPI number. I really like Oxy, and you know, here are your earnings. Here's your dividend. Maybe you look at it after the dividend. Maybe, right? I mean, maybe that's the thing that's going to you know, drive us. But maybe you look at it after that. Overall, you just kind of have to figure out what you're going to do here and how you're going to handle this. So for me, just watch this and go from there. I don't see a sense in doing anything here and buying energy. I will not be buying energy. I have energy names. I will not be buying them based upon the CPI today. I need to see how they act before I jump into anything here. So this was a really bad energy CPI reading. Way worse than I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be slow. I thought it'd slow down. I didn't think it'd go that negative. And maybe that's just, you know, that's why you never know. But again, you know, with the CPI data, what I look at is not what everybody's looking at, right? I'm looking at the 0.3 number. The estimate was 0.6. Where people take out food and energy. Why you take out the cost of the things that matter the most in a number is mind-boggling to me, but they do it. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I think you're going to see more and more of that. Was Luna but Luna wasn't a stable coin, right? So I'm really concerned about the stable coins. But I'd be really freaking careful there with these names. You know, I'd be really careful with those names. What's up, David? Oh, so I'm way behind. Okay, let me get back to this. I'm sorry. I'll try and blow through these as fast as I can now. I think the energy reacting to this could be negative. What to short today? Anything Bitcoin related. Anything Bitcoin related, I would be short. I think that this is about to get really ugly. Anything related to Bitcoin or Ethereum, I think they're outright shorts. I mean, anything related to Bitcoin or Ethereum or crypto, I would be short. I can't stress that enough. You know, we're short Coinbase in the room through puts, and we were short stock yesterday. People were like, "How low can it go?" I watched a friend that you know has a couple 100,000 followers actually on Twitter, a guy I'm actually personally friends with, who was buying coin because it was cheap at 100 the other day, and I told him he was out of his mind. And here we are at 54. So there's a lot of people that were buying this stuff, and this is going to get a lot uglier in my opinion. You're just witnessing the beginning of it. So I don't see any reason for this to not get super ugly on the crypto side. So that's the space that would really interest me. If the Qs can get over 300 and stay over 300, maybe you could stabilize. Maybe, but that's what I would be short. Anything crypto related. And anything that we've been short, Janice, anything we've been short that rallies. You know, Carvania rallies, short it. I mean, used autos are down. I don't know if you saw that number or not. Let me start running through this a little faster. I'm way behind with my rants. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that, Travis. I mean, did you really think that Ukraine was going to keep letting them, you know, get gas and oil that's funding the war to invade their country? Like people, you know, the global energy policy right now is just ridiculous. Yes, I did. What's up, B? Yeah, I did see that. That's absolute insanity. You know, I've been around for a bit. I've been around for a minute, and I watched that happen with Lehman Brothers, where people had accounts at Lehman Brothers, got tied up for years before they could access their money. So it can happen. And I would not have an account at Coinbase. I would not have an account at Robinhood. The majority of stuff that I had like that I even long-term holdings, I'm completely out. The only place I have an account is Gemini. I think that they're too tied in and too public to have a major blow up, but I could be wrong. It could happen anywhere. But that's the only account like that I have left is Gemini. Affirm in the earnings, Affirm's going to just look, that's not going to work. Okay. Pay later. This is not going to work. I mean, you just saw Peloton's numbers. Peloton is 28% of their revenues. What do you think is going to happen in the earnings? Right? 13, 14. Like, there's just no way that this is going to have good earnings. There's just no way. And I thank you for reminding me of that, that is earnings today. So any rally into that, onto earnings, I think you're crazy not to play this because this could get destroyed on earnings. Absolutely destroyed. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to make a note. So right now, as soon as you said that, because that one slipped my mind, quite frankly. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely think that could get annihilated. There goes coin down another level. So something to think about for sure. Affirm can get destroyed. I will be shorting all rallies. I mean, I would definitely be considering that. AMAT, what's going on, Nad? Yeah, I mean, you're setting up to break here. You're in a bear flag. You're setting up to break, and you're going into earnings. I wouldn't go near that. So, Peloton, I'm short. I actually think Peloton's a zero. I know people think it's funny. Like, oh, how could it go to zero? They're tapping their credit lines. I mean, I'll say it again. They're tapping their credit lines because they're tapping their banks. How soon before the banks pull their financing? Right? Banks only lend you, I mean, look, we all know this from getting a mortgage, right? For all of us that have gotten a mortgage at one point in our lives, banks only lend you money when you don't need it. So when you need it, what do? They usually tie up the credit lines. You think a bank's going to have an unsecured credit line with Peloton right now? How long before the bank sees these credit lines? It's just a matter of time. Or they make them, they tie their revenue streams to them, which is even worse. So I think it could be a zero, night trader. I almost called you Night Rider. That's how old I am. COVID stimmy Q, yeah, absolutely, pulled out. So, oh yeah, I believe that. I totally believe that, Travis. Yeah, Bitcoin's done. I think Bitcoin's going to 20, and then I think Bitcoin is going to. I think Bitcoin's going to see 10 again. I think we're going to go back to triple digits on Ethereum. That's why I got out. Do I do pairs trading? Do I do pairs trading now? No. Did I used to do pairs trading? Yes. When I used to run a fund, and I would do it then. Long one, short another. Long Google, short Snap, things like that. Because all you're trying to do is just get, like, if you can do that properly, Frank, you can just get specific company risk, which is good. I don't know, KK. I don't know if we get 360. You think we're getting 360? I don't know, man. I don't know if we're getting that. I'd be surprised we don't see 383. That would be surprising to me if we don't see 383. That would be a surprise. I'm not so sure we don't see that. But we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see here. See what we get. But SHW, Sherwin-Williams? I don't know that I'd be shorting Sherwin-Williams. I wouldn't short this. Anything that actually makes money and issues a dividend, do not short, right? People were looking at this now. I get it. I mean, I'm looking at buying some of this for a long-term account. But, we'll see. But you really gotta watch here. So, them coming out, look, Coinbase coming out yesterday and waving the flag saying, hey, we're going to make it, but if we go through bankruptcy, we get to tie up your assets. Not a real ringing endorsement for a growth company. They went from NFTs and we're all going to trade NFTs to, this. And the NFT market was probably a really glaring sign that this was a disaster. So, you got to just look for dividend yielding stocks. I wouldn't be shorting this. It's like I wouldn't be shorting this now either, right? Anything with a dividend that's in that space, I'd be really careful of, because that's where the money's going to flow first. Stability, and I'm getting a dividend. So even if it bounces around, as long as I make some money and it bounces around, I'm still in the game, right? That's where it's going to go. That's how people are going to think. All right, just understand that. To me, it's a short the pops kind of day unless we get, something crazy. Would it be followed by tomorrow's going up for the confirmation? I don't know. We'd have to see. I mean, you'd have to see what happens tomorrow. Right now, I'm trying to get through the day. You know what I mean, Edward? I'm just trying to get through it today. I'd be careful. Futures come down on fertilizers. They did for whatever reason. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, David. Yeah, I saw that, John. I don't understand that at all. I'd be really careful with that kind of stuff. What's going on, Ryan? What's going on, Justin? Qs, I think you just got to watch yourself here, my friend. Just watch yourself, man. You got to get over 300 and stay over 300. And you got to see if that's going to happen or not. And right now, I'm not so sure that that's going to happen. You're just bouncing around. I'm not so sure how bad this gets. But right now, getting pretty bad. So, and I think it can get a lot worse. You're not just going to open and that's going to be the low. I mean, it's not going to work that way, right? It's not. This is trying to bounce. This is trying to find a spot to hold. You're only down 30. It doesn't feel it, but you're only down 32 basis points, 33 basis points. That money comes out of, and energy's rallying here. So let's go take a look at these real quick. I'm going to have to jump. I don't think I'm going to be able to answer everyone's questions today. Only one sector's up. It's actually holding. So maybe it holds. Maybe energy holds. Let's get through this, see if we have something good. Tesla's selling down for a whole litany of reasons. The high beta names are selling down. I'm going to honor the stops I have on them. Yeah, I think Bitcoin plunged because it crashed. But you have to think they're all levered together, right? So that can get a lot worse. So Yang, yeah, I think it's kind of silly to think that they're going to escape the market, that they're going to escape the correction. 16, yes, up here. Just watch it. I mean, you deal with those gap ups and gaps down, so you have to be careful with it. Let's get through this. You can do puts it open. I mean, I found stock to short. I'm short stock. I didn't have a problem. I don't know. TD might not want you to. I don't know if you do puts it open. You have to see how they open. They're usually pretty thin. SOXL, I wouldn't be buying that, Vivian. I wouldn't be going near that right now. I'd be on the other side of that. Right? I mean, do you think we're just going to gap down and then run? I don't see it. I mean, look, anything can happen, but I just don't see that. Bumble tonight, yeah, I think Bumble's going to be a disaster. A lot of those sites, I mean, you had a lot. They were very busy, and then that was the end of them. And this will be the same way. People are sick of the growth. They want you to make money, and so they're going to have to go through that same cycle that Mitch just went through, where they're just not making money, and they're about to go through it. So they got to be careful here. They got to be really, really careful and see what happens here. But that's kind of my opinion of that. So, we'll see how it goes. Ticker symbol Tesla. Let's do Tesla and NVIDIA and AMD. So Tesla, yeah, I mean, you can't be buying that. I mean, look at that. It looks like you have a bear flag. You have another bear flag. You had a bear flag here. You broke that one. Now you have another bear flag below the 50-day. Maybe you hold 755. Maybe you could look at it if you get to 755. Maybe. You know, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not going near it. That's for sure. So I'm going to try and tighten it up as we're getting in closer and closer to the market. But let's see. I wouldn't be going near that. PayPal, and let's do AMD and NVIDIA. AMD, you just got to watch. I mean, this was a great quarter. Nobody cares. Now I've got this bear flag forming here, and I can't get back over 91. You couldn't get back over 100. Watch these levels, 91.22, 99, 92, but just call it 100. NVIDIA, I mean, you know, we shorted this yesterday on the rally, did okay with it. You're coming back down today. I think it's interesting that the market's hitting a low and this is not. But, you know, that's just because it's a darling. Doesn't really mean a whole heck of a lot. So I would watch that, and I would see where that goes. Now, Piton's rallying just because you have a lot of other names out there that you could be short. I will continue to short that name. What else do we have here? Anything? I don't think it feels like a short trap at all. I think I think we have problems. I don't feel trapped. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that Cpi Is Out Biden's going to do something with his speech. Has Biden done anything with his speech except knock the market down and create new words? I don't want to get political, but come on. I do think that Apple gets below 150. Yeah. I don't see how this market... Look, I'm going to leave you with this. I don't see how this ends without Apple, Microsoft... and Tesla breaking. I just don't see how this doesn't end with them breaking. That's just my opinion. I have to jump. I have to hop in the trading room. Anything, you know, you need anything, just let me know. GFS, I don't know. I don't know that I'd be shorting that. I mean, you're kind of washed out here, right? And you had decent numbers. Look at your numbers. So I don't know I'd short that row. I think there's better names. All right, trade to win today.